Good morning. I am Pamela Johnson, a member of the Small Business Development Center at Florida A&M University, and I am delighted to be here today. So I'd like to thank the Office of Economic Vitality, Daryl Jones and his team, for having me and inviting me to present a little bit about what the Small Business Development Center does at Florida A&M University. So the mission of the Small Business Development Center is to provide quality economic services and assistance to existing and aspiring small business owners. We want to promote growth, expansion, innovation, profitability, management improvement, employment, and economic development. The services that we offer, just to name a few, include professional consulting services, business training workshops and seminars, and business acceleration services, which you'll learn a little bit more about in the presentation. We also are fortunate, being on the Seven Hills, to have awesome graduate students from the School of Business and Industry that work alongside with us on strategic engagement assignments with key clients. A wonderful opportunity, and we're able to tap into their resources, and clients love it. I've actually had clients who've given their consultants from the graduate program standing ovations on the presentation and work that they have done. So it's a great resource for our community. Also, because we are a member of a statewide network, we have access to professionals throughout the entire state that help with business valuation and government contracting, strategic planning, imports and exports, and business operations. And our team of clients is a team of experts will help our clients in accounting, finance, and marketing, just to name a few of the services. So what type of services do we provide? If you are interested in researching how to access funding for your business, I know there are a lot of different avenues that you can pursue. How do I calculate the amount of capital that I need to borrow? What types of loans do I qualify for? We can help if you are unsure of your eligibility. What can we help you do? Uncover available debt coverage and what your ability will be to repay those loans, access financing options and opportunities. We work with clients to identify appropriate sources of financing, and we will help with you work on developing your plan and do in-depth financial analysis and evaluations. We also help you create those loan packages that you're going to need to prepare as you look for funding resources, and we help you formulate a finance strategy as we also work with lending officials. Okay, could you go back to that one real quick? No problem. From a financial management and analysis perspective, we look at financial projections. If you're ready to dive into bookkeeping on your business, and we provide assistance with bookkeeping and accounting, your financial health assessments, cash flow analysis, as well as strategies to increase your profitability. We also look at providing market research and analysis services. We are fortunate, and our clients are fortunate, because we are able to access unaffordable and unavailable information to our clients. We are able to dive in and tap into that and provide that service to small and medium-sized businesses. And one of my favorites, the business plan. I've been mentioned that. Normally when clients come in, the first thing sometimes they will ask is, I'm not looking for a loan, but I want a grant. Well, I'm going to first set the record straight. Not a whole lot of grants for startup and businesses, if any. But one thing that you cannot get around if you're looking at from a financing perspective, even if it is grants, is your business plan. And that's one of the things that we help in terms of putting your business plan together. While we don't write the business plans, we do help you every step of the way and every component of putting that business plan together, because you're going to need that information as you go forth with with your lending operations. Lending opportunities. They're going to need to know what is the plan, mission, goals, vision of your organization. And for those who beyond the business plan perspective, you're engaged, and you're ready to grow your business, expand your business, we also offer strategic planning assistance as well, and helping you through every component of the strategic planning process. From a perspective of what the program offerings are at Florida A&M University, we are excited because we have two programs that we've recently launched in the last 2 years. Our first one is our Founders Accelerated Network Group, which is our business incubator, which is powered by Wells Fargo. And the acronym is known as FANG. And the business incubator will help clients. We guide clients through a comprehensive online business software platform. We have 2 cohorts that are currently underway now. One is those who are looking to start a business, and those who are currently in business. So they have separate tracks that they follow within the comprehensive platform. And the program length for these are 6 months, and it could be shorter based on the client's specific needs. So we are excited as we have launched our first incubator, and this group is scheduled to graduate the end of this year. And we will open that up again soon as we launch for the first of 2025. So listen out, and we'll give you some information on how you can access that. Our newest program is the Capital Readiness Program, and this came forth through the American Rescue Plan Act, which is through the Biden administration to help stand up those businesses impacted by COVID-19. So we, in an effort to help those businesses launch and grow, particularly those small businesses and those that are in rural areas. This initiative will help economically disadvantaged individuals prepare and obtain access, hopefully, to capital. So we are Florida A&M University was one of 43 organizations that was awarded a grant. Nationwide, we have colleagues all over that are helping small businesses grow and succeed by building capital, and also looking to access capital opportunities as well as access to networks. We look at supporting entrepreneurs by who are applying for the state small business credit initiative. So the state small business credit initiative, we've gotten calls from individuals saying, "Hey, how do I access this grant? How do I access the grant? Or what do I need to do to apply for the grant?" You get access through it from technical assistance that we are providing along with our partners. But what it does do for lending institutions is helps eliminate and decrease their risk and exposure, so that they're able to maybe take on some of those loan opportunities or loan initiatives that may not have been traditionally or initially funded, but they work in helping to provide an additional funding support to the lending institutions, so that they feel comfortable and ready to support those small businesses. So here in Florida, in the North Florida area, we have launched the Florida Panhandle Capital Readiness Collaborative. And our partners for this are the Big Bend Minority Chamber of Commerce, the Capital City Chamber of Commerce, and Domi Station. So through this collaborative, we are launching incubators and accelerators, as well as networking opportunities for individuals that are looking to access the support from the SSBCI program. So we have just completed year one, and we offered, based on our numbers, I think we had almost 45 networking events throughout the region for small business owners. And I see some who are actually here in the audience today who participated in those initiatives and events. I see Yvonne back there. Yes. So we are working really hard to provide help through incubators, where we're helping startups and early stage entrepreneurs launch their business, and accelerator programs where we're helping emerging businesses that have moved beyond the early stages and moved to a more sophisticated guidance and peer support. So we're going to be providing, as we continue to move forward, again, capacity building. How do you expand your business? What can we do to help you expand and get to the next level to grow your business? How do you access that capital? And how do you prepare to access that capital? How do you go in prepared to meet with lending officials? And how do you access to networks? How do you tap into the wonderful ecosystem that we have here in our region that helps entrepreneurs? There are a lot of entrepreneurs here who are now making valuable connections with each other to help grow and scale their business. So we do this again through services and curriculum to assist in launching your business. We're going to help you to apply for the state SSBCI programs and other programs that promote entrepreneurship. And then we're looking at connecting you to your larger entrepreneurial ecosystem here in the state of Florida and the North Florida area, as well as in our region. So that is my overview of what the Small Business Development Center, the services that we can offer. You can reach us at any of these locations. You can also call as well, and then check out some of the great things that are happening at the Small Business Development Center that will grow and support businesses. So that's all that I have. I will now turn it back over to, yes, sure. Are there any questions?
I was just wondering when the 2025 FANG application opens.
We anticipate that it will open either the fourth quarter of this year or the beginning of next year. But if you are interested, please feel free to call, and we can make sure that you are included on our list. You can also access it through, you can find out information on it from the FAMU SBI Incubator.org website. It will be posted there as well, but we will make sure that, we're also on Instagram as well as Facebook, and it'll be posted there as well as soon as it is launched and open. But great program, super excited and thankful to Wells Fargo for powering this incubator service.
If anyone online has a question, please put it in the chat and we will get it asked for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Let's thank Madam Johnson with FAMU Small Business Development Center. You saw in her presentation, and we're going to keep her information on the screen as I make these final comments. The resources, as we talk about business, are some of the things that I'm sure that our financiers are certain that you've taken advantage of those services, such as your best prepared to meet the responsibilities commensurate with securing a loan and business financing through any one of our varied partners. So what I would strongly suggest for those who are looking for financing opportunities to first take advantage of those business services that they provide, the financial analysis of your business, the strategic plan, even the business plan development, all are critical components of making certain that you're best equipped to meet the responsibilities associated with your loan. So thank you so much for your presentation. And now we're going to go to Sherwood Brown, who will now provide his presentation coming from the Florida Black Business Investment Corporation. Sherwood Brown.
Thank you, sir. Well, good morning. I am Sherwood Brown, president of the Northwest Florida Black Business Investment Corporation. And the first thing I want to do is kind of clarify who we are, because we get called a lot of things, and I want to kind of break it down for you. Basically, our mission has always been the same: empowering Black-owned businesses in the Florida Panhandle. The Northwest Florida BBIC was founded in August of 1990, and it was under the auspices of the Florida Black Business Investment Board. It was state chartered. Now, looking at you all might not remember, but the Arthur McDuffie riots in Miami back in the I believe they were in the late 70s. They created this need that there need to be more Black businesses in the state of Florida, and maybe so they won't riot and tear up their neighborhoods. And so that created the Florida Black Business Investment Board. And under that, there were several Black business investment corporations that fell under that umbrella. And you had them in Fort Lauderdale, West Palm, Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa, and Tallahassee covered everything. Well, I'll tell you what we covered in a minute, but let me move on. So that's where we started. Like I mentioned earlier, our mission, it's quite simple. We work to make customers bankable. So we're not the end lender, although there have been some borrowers that we've had for quite some years. We're not the end lender. Our goal is to get them bankable to get to the Wells Fargos of the world, the Smart Banks of the world, the Bank of Americas of the world, and they've been different banks throughout the years. That's been our mission, never to be the permanent lender. And so where we would come in initially, what we did was loan guarantees. But we found that with the loan guarantees, as banks went more to credit score models and not as hands-on, that we had to actually start lending directly. So that's when we got into the business of making small loans to those. But it's still, the goal has always been, although we've made loans to them, the goal has always been to get them bankable. And I have to keep stressing that, because some of my clients think that we're the end bank, but we're not. We're not a bank. We're a small business just like you. Okay, just give you some information furthering the discussing about what's happened with the BBIBs in the early 2000s. Yeah, the BBIB was dissolved, but there are still some BBICs that still exist, we being one of them. There's also a BBIC. You see the Palm Beach BBIC in Palm Beach. Because keep in mind, we're all restricted to our different areas still. There's a BBIC in Orlando.
Sure, could we stop 1 second, Megan? On the Zoom, they're still seeing Pamela's presentation.
Oh, okay. But I don't have to start over.
You don't have to start over. We're gonna pick up from there.
Okay.
There we go. I can see that.
Good deal.
No problem.
Her presentation looked better anyway, so they had a better view. So, as I indicated, so these are the BBICs that still exist in addition to us. I mentioned the Palm Beach, Orlando, and Tampa Bay. So Tallahassee, you're lucky to still have one of the few, because the rest have moved away. Our service area. So we serve businesses now. This is the key. And like I say, we're independently owned, so Ron DeSantis doesn't control us anymore. So we can still say we serve African American owned businesses that have to be 51% or more owned by an African American. The rest, the 49%, could be whomever. And this is the key. They have to be within any one ranging from Escambia County, Pensacola, all the way back over to Madison County. And they have to be domiciled in this area. We have some sneaky people sometimes, and what they may do is they set up a Tallahassee address, but they're actually in Tampa or Orlando. If you're in Tampa or Orlando, you go to the Tampa or Orlando BBIC. Don't come to us. Because when I need to collect, I need to be able to go to your business. I'm not driving to Tampa to collect. So anyway, so just keep that in mind. Services provided. It's very simple now. Loans ranging from $5,000 to $400,000. I will tell you that a lot often depends on what our available cash is at that time, because as I indicated, we don't get any more government funding. We're actually living off of the monies that we brought in over the years, the loans that we've made over the years, those that paid us back, and we've been replenishing our money. We haven't received any money from the state since the early 2000s, just after we dissolved as a state entity. Now, we provide technical assistance to get people ready, but we partner a lot with the FAMU Small Business Development Center because they have the expertise and the wheelhouse to do that. So don't be surprised if you come to me and if your package isn't quite where it needs to be, we send you back to FAMU Small Business Development Center to help you get ready because we're all in this together. Moving on to my loan information, just to give you some ideas of what we do. We will do working capital loans, equipment purchases, and real estate purchases. Keep in mind, you saw the cap. So if you can get something for under $400,000, we may be able to help you. More than likely, you're going to be a little bit over. You see, we do have a minimum credit score, 640 for secured loans and 660 for unsecured loans. That number can change. And just to add a little bit about this, we're not a grant. You didn't hear me say anything about grant, right? And we're not forgiveness, because a lot of people got messed up during COVID with EIDL loans and those loans that you were forgiven. So they think everybody just forgive loans. But if we forgive loans, we won't be in existence. So we do expect our loans to be repaid. And unfortunately, a lot of times, I'm a recovering banker. I was in banking for 30 years. And the credit score is an indicator of what you will do. It's what you have done. It's an indicator of what you will do. You have to work hard to get a 500 credit score. You just don't wake up with a 500 credit score. You did something to get that 500 credit score. So we have to make sure that you have been redeemed, that you have learned and you have overcome for yeah. And I will tell you this, because I've been in banking long enough. I've seen the trajectory, and I've seen people who were at 580, 560, and my message has been the same for those 30 years. If you work with me, if you listen to me, I'll get you to where you need to be. And I have clients that I have worked with, and some of them wouldn't mind me calling their names out, but I won't today. But I've worked with, and now I have to compete for their business because they're 720s and 750s and 800 scores. But I remember them when they were 580s. But they listened to me. Sometimes you have to pay that bill that you were mad at them about and you didn't think it was right. But you got to go back and pay it because you got to show your character. And let me just say this, as a small business owner, you're going to have challenges. You're not like an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5. And I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I understand that there's some days I may get paid and some days I may not. But bills still need to be paid. So you have to learn that discipline. So we look at that credit to see, do they have that discipline? Have they established that ability to work through hardships? If you're in retail, there's something called sales taxes that you have to pay. When you sell something and you take that 7.5%, that's not yours. And so we've had a lot of businesses get in trouble with not paying their sales tax, and Florida Department of Revenue is almost as bad as the IRS. They can shut you down. So we look at things like that. But I shouldn't, maybe redeem wasn't the right word, delivered. Is that a better word? Delivered. Okay. So we do have that minimum that minimum credit score there for a reason. But even if you're below that 660, we'll work with you. May not lend you any money right away, but we'll work with you. But we're looking to see that you've made that transition and that loan we put on the books we're going to get back. The minimum debt service coverage, you all understand the debt service coverage, how that works. It's almost the flip of the debt to income ratio that you hear about so much. Basically, if you have, we're looking for you to make 125% of what you spend, essentially what that is. And that's a very generous debt service coverage. Our current pricing on our loans, they are fixed rate, but it's priced on the secured loan will be 3% over the prime at the time that we make the loan. What is prime now? 8.5%. So it would be 11.5% for a fixed loan and 5% over that current prime for an unsecured loan. But it's fixed at that point. And then we do charge a 1.5% loan fee. And our terms on the unsecured range from 3 years to 4 years, and we will go up to as high as 15 years on the real estate loans. So, and all that's left is my contact information. You see our website, BBIC, Northwest Florida, NWBBIC.org, or you can call us or email me. And that is basically it on the BBIC. I was real quick. Any questions? Didn't mean to go off on the tangent about the credit, but I feel strong about the credit because there's a mindset out there now that I think those COVID loans threw people off, but they thought they can just borrow money and we'll forgive it. But God forgives. We can.
If you have any questions online, please put it in the chat and we'll get it answered for you.
Allow me to introduce my good friend Matt Vossler. For a number of years now, Matt Vossler has been a go-to in this business financing space, first with the FAMU Federal Credit Union, now with ARPC. ARPC was the very first loan that the Office of Economic Vitality partnered with to be able to provide financing, which we knew was critical for our certified firms. One of the things that we also appreciate about the ARPC as it continues to evolve, one of the things that we know is a principal area of need is for those businesses that are certified through our office to be able to have project-based financing. So that means when our businesses secure contracts and bids to work on city, county, and blueprint projects, armed with that bid in hand, we need partners like the ARPC who can provide that financing. As you all know, when you work on city and county contracts as a subcontractor, the prime may opt to not be paid until the end of the project. Our certified firms can't wait that long. So with the financing that we're able to provide, this type of creative financing armed with low risk loan package, because you had the bid, they've created it in such a way that they take a position along with the prime to ensure that the loan is paid over the course of the work. That means you're able to have the financing you need for your materials, supplies, and labor. So we're grateful for them being our original financing partner. Through the Office of Economic Vitality, through a loan that we were able to secure, cooperation with them through the federal government. So I'm happy for them to talk about what it is that they do to help our businesses to thrive in our local business ecosystem. Matt Boss.
Do I just drop the mic now? Because that was pretty much. You're hired, Daryl. Thank you very much. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your partnership of OEV. Everybody here's been talking about a lot of local and state funding. Here we're working with some federal money with the EDA and exactly how that works. So I am with ARPC. Nobody's ever heard of ARPC. Apalachee Regional Planning Council. For those of you who don't know, if you're living here in Tallahassee, you're living in the Apalachee region of Florida. There are 10 regions in the state of Florida. Here we're operating, we're going to hear one small bit. The reason most people don't know about ARPC is because what ARPC as a whole is a non-governmental consulting. We help out counties with different infrastructure problems. Here's a very good instance of exactly what ARPC does before I get into revolving loan funds is think about one of our rural counties like Franklin County. When they need to build a bridge, do they have staff in place to be able to navigate the federal, state grant funding to make sure that all of those things are in line? A lot of our rural counties don't necessarily have those skill sets available to them at the drop of a hat. That's where ARPC comes in. We've got skilled professionals that know local, federal, state grant procedures. We can come in and assist, especially our rural counties. Leon County doesn't need as much as help as other folks. There's a lot more resources here. But particularly what I do is in the economic development realm. We operate the revolving loan fund, just very similar to what Sherwood said. We got a lump sum of money. As we get paid back, we can relend that. That's the idea of a revolving loan fund. Now, there seems to be a theme. We've changed a little bit since the COVID era rules. So the EDA has tightened things up a little bit. So what we are looking for now is to really activate capital that's already in our region by providing what we call gap funding. So very often what a project needs and what a lender is willing to lend are two very different numbers. That's where ARPC comes in and fills that gap. If your project costs, we'll say $1 million, but that lender is only willing to lend, $750,000, ARPC can come in and take $250,000 to make sure you get up to the capital that you need. And this is only possible through the EDA and our wonderful partnership with OEV, but specifically our Revive revolving loan fund is concentrated here in Leon County. And, if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide, to give you an idea of what gap funding would be, is that you've got your conventional business loans, the folks out there like Mr. Yelverton out here in the audience from Smart Bank. We can also work with Sherwood there with the Black Business Credit Initiative. We can work with just about any lender. Basically what we're going to do is stack money on top. What we call that is the capital stack. We want the capital stack to get you 100% of your business lending needs based on the project. So, when the conventional lending doesn't quite get you where you need to be, ARPC can make sure that we put you over the top. Now, again, like Mr. Brown said, this is not a grant. We do expect to be paid back. But here's some great things. We're probably going to be at a lower interest rate. than your loan, which is going to help with your debt service coverage, your debt income ratios, things of that nature, get you to approvability. Now, that's where it's going to benefit the entrepreneur themselves, but it's also a benefit to the lender that works with us because they're not having to take 100% of that risk on investing in your business. So we're incentivizing our lenders to make more loans to put you over the top. So who can we work with? We can work with banks and credit unions, but we can also tie in with the Small Business Credit Initiative. We can also tie in with SBA. We can also tie in with the Capital Readiness Program. There is really no limit to who we participate with. And again, it's all about activating capital in our region. Folks, there's money here. We just got to get you to the point where you're lendable. We want to look at your fantastic business plans, developed by the Small Business Development Council. We work hand in hand with them. We can also work with different credit initiatives like the Smart Steps program available at FAMU FCU. There is no reason that we can't, get that number to where you need to be, get you to an approved loan, get that next project off the ground. Eligibility, women and minority-owned businesses in Leon County. One of the big things, we're not here to compete with the smart banks. We're not here to compete with the Marist banks. We are here to supplement. So basically, the loan can't go through traditional means. We are here to incentivize loans, not necessarily make them directly. We're a non-governmental agency. The government doesn't compete in the private sector. That's very important to us. There are other terms and conditions, and folks, this is what I'd like to tell you. I'm a resource to you. You can pick up the telephone. You're going to get my email address after this. You're going to get my telephone number after this. I think, as Mr. Jones would testify, I'm willing to have a conversation. If any of this is not making sense to you, if you, quite frankly, don't even know where you are with everything, I'm willing to have a conversation. That technical assistance that Mr. Brown talked about. I am interested in advocating for our region. ARPC is interested in advocating for our region, and that's very, very important. But Leon County is not the only place that we operate. We operate in a 9-county region. We can do loans. We have, similar loan packages. They just have different names to them, to be very honest with you. But we can operate anywhere in this region here. And hopefully we're going to see ARPC, since we are one of only 2 revolving loan funds in the state of Florida, the only other one being in Miami-Dade. Hopefully we will see ARPC expanding our region to where we can take care of all of North Florida and really push through the economic development. OEV has got some fantastic things going on. They've got money flowing into this region. How do we magnify that? ARPC Revolving Loan Fund is here for that. I believe that's about it for me today. Again, my name is Matthew Vossler, but for those who know me, you just call me Matt. Give me a call, shoot me an email, let me know. Questions, comments, concerns, I'm here to answer them for you.
Questions online for either of the speakers, please put it in the chat. Mr. Jones.
Mr. Vossler, thank you so much. I want to thank all of our presenters. I also want to thank Sherwood Brown with the BBIC. One of the things I think that is enormously critical as we brought these 3 speakers together, I would hope that you would see the opportunity for a symbiotic relationship in terms of your engagement. Each one has particular loan packages that are similar and yet at the same time dissimilar. But the good part about it, because of this interconnectivity, they're able to point you in the right direction. Sherwood Brown has forgotten more about lending than most of us could ever hope to know, having been in both the private sector, also in the credit union space, and now, well, with this private venture with the BBIC. All of them are well versed to be providing those tools. One of the things I think is critical that I'd like to end our discussion with, and that is a resource that is the FAMU Small Business Development Center. I think you come to them best prepared for any loan for which you make application, whether it is through their own micro loans that they provide, through the SBDC, also any loans that you would secure through the BBIC, ARPC, FAMU Smart Steps loans, or if you were to go to a commercial lender because you had that type of heft and relationship. But one of the things that we must stress is that you putting your best foot forward when you make your very first attempt. And that is why I think the FAMU Small Business Development Center is such a critical part of that. We require engagement with the FAMU Small Business Development Center to even to certify, right? Because they have a business health check. Is that what it's called? The business health check, right? Which helps you to see both your company's strengths, its weaknesses, such that you can be able to make the best steps forward as you continue to grow and expand your businesses. And OEV wants to be a part of that and connect these resources with our firms because we want ultimately to create more jobs in our local economy. And we know that small businesses are the means by which that occurs. And it occurs by taking advantage of all of the resources we have in our community. Tallahassee, Leon County is resource rich, as you have heard this morning and you've seen this morning from these presentations. So we can't teach hungry. Are you listening to me online? We cannot teach hungry. But what we can do is set before you a buffet that you can get your plate and take advantage of all the resources as you continue to grow and expand your business. I want to thank my colleague, Megan Wynn, who came in this morning with an S on her chest and a cape and saved the day. I want to thank another small business. Thank you, my colleague. And I also want to thank Mr. Vaughn Wilson with Mega Ace, certified MBE in our local economy, and also the founder of the Black Business Expo. Also another important resource found in our community where we bring all of our resources to bear to make certain that everyone is aware of all of the advantages that we have. Also look forward to hearing additional information from us on our upcoming Med Week. Med Week is very, very important, and as a part of Med Week, we will be featuring all of our finance partners. As a part of our special recognitions this year, we want to acknowledge all of our finance and resource partners. So please prepare to hear more information about that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Minority Enterprise Development Week, not medicine. Either this is Minority Enterprise Development Week, so make certain that it's October 7th through the 11th, correct? So you'll hear more information from us. We want to thank everybody who's in attendance in the room. Thank you again to all of our partners. Smart Bank. Hello, Smart Bank. I didn't know you were here, Smart Bank. Good morning, Smart Bank. And we're going to hear more from Smart Bank in our next finance MWSB Academy. Look forward to hearing more information about workforce development with CareerSource, Tallahassee Community College, and of course, Lively Vocational Technical College. There are fantastic resources to help your business, to staff your businesses, to also help you to be project ready on upcoming procurements through the city and the county and Blueprint. So we look forward to talking about that, and that one is scheduled for later this month, and you'll get more information for that. Thank you for coming on virtually, and we'll have these in the morning at 8 o'clock so that you can be ready in both in person or or virtually to take advantage of the resources we have in our local market. Again, thank you for coming on. If you require any additional information, feel free to reach out to me, Daryl Jones at djones@oevforbusiness.org. And again, special thanks to Mega Ace Media, Vaughn Wilson, for being our producer for this series. And once it has been edited, it will then be archived in perpetuity on our website and in our library. And again, thank you to all of our speakers, Ms. Pam Johnson, Mr. Matt Bossler, and Mr. Sherwood Brown. Thanks so much.